The room given the name Sniper Alley in level 1 looks very, very simple, and it is. The path Link has to walk in this room is from the left door to the right door while avoiding these 3 Goriyas. That's it. There's no forced combat, no anything in here. Just get from point A to point B. But as we know in Zelda 1, nothing is ever that simple. There are really 2 things that you need to concern yourself in this room that can happen to Link. The first is an orange Goriya throwing at you. Are you going to stop? Are you going to pause and play the game of chicken? No. You're going to walk through, and if you take a bop, you take a bop. There's really not much you can do there. But you can anticipate that Goriya firing because you know that's a decision point for him. If we had a chance to make a pause buffer, if you go look at one of the room videos in level 7 that deal with Goriyas, and we're switching our item in our B slot, and you had a chance to pause buffer, you would do it right here on this tile, because what you'd be able to see is, are these 2 Goriyas firing? If they are, you can pause, not take the damage, and walk through. But here, we're not able to pause buffer. We're not switching our items. We're not doing anything like that. So you're just gonna continue through. You don't want to stop on this 3rd tile and wait, because if it doesn't happen, then you've wasted that time. So that's the first thing to concern yourself with, is these Goriyas can fire. The second one also, as you get through, the third one can also fire north or south from this position over here. But that's the first thing to concern yourself with, is that Goriya fire right there. The second thing that can happen to you inside this room is, as you pass these 2 Goriyas, this third one just flat out gets in the way. If he starts to walk on the road that we're trying to, walk from point A to point B on, if he starts to walk right through here, what you're going to have to do is stab through him, and we'll show you that technique. It's very simple, and the other thing you can do is, if you're on a global counter, consecutive count, you can actually use him, and we'll show, finishing the kill to help build a global count later off this guy. You never want to depend on him, because if he's north or south of this horizontal tile, you're not going to go out of your way to force combat on him. But if he's in the way and he helps your count out, absolutely, you can use him at very minimal time loss. Let's take a look at the first option here, the first thing to worry about, and that is the Goriya that's firing. And I'm going to play it in real time, and then we're going to back it up and show you how very little time you had to react to it anyway. The majority of the time when you're coming through this room, your eyes are focused on this right Goriya and seeing what he's going to do, because that's the one that's really going to be an issue for you. These guys, really, you can't do anything. Like I said, you walk through. If you get hit, you get hit. But your eyes are over here, and these Goriyas can snipe you, and that's exactly what happens in this scenario. All right, so if you back this up to the entry here, you'll see Link doing exactly what we talked about. And Link, again, is focused on this right Goriya, as you should be walking through this room. That should be where your focus is as a runner, is this right Goriya and seeing what he's going to do. These guys are kind of a peripheral, but again, we can't really do much because you can see we are all the way here, almost to this 3rd block. Before this boomerang comes out. Do you have the chance to stop here? Yeah, if you can stop here and you can see that, you can make that avoidance stop, then absolutely that's the play, because you don't want to lose that damage. And what you're also going to see is, if you do take that boomerang, there's a chance that you're going to have this knockback that happens to Link here, which is going to take some time. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this Goriya is already going north and you set your eyes back on here and you have the chance to stop when you see that and your reflexes are good enough, go ahead and do it. If they're not, you don't want to mess with it. And, 99% of the time, this guy's not going to fire anyway. You can walk straight through and it's a free walk. Just keep holding right. That's my advice here. I mean, this can happen to you. This can happen to Link. You can have this knockback, and we wanted to show you the example, but just keep holding right. This is not a risk that you should concern yourself with when you walk through the room. The next example I want to show is if this 3rd Goriya right here doesn't move. He doesn't move off this row, and you have to stab through him, what that looks like. So let's take a look at it, and then we'll break that one down as well. Okay, so if we back it up to this point where Link is already halfway through the room, we've already got past the Sniper Alley part, and now we just got to get past this pesky Goriya that's over here. What you're going to see is, as we advance this, all you need to do is swing when you're about a half tile away from the Goriya. And what you're going to do is you're going to push him back, and you're going to begin the iframe portion. Unfortunately, the iframes in the enemy don't last long enough for you to get through on that first push. So you're going to want to swing again, and as Link is closer and you've closed that gap, he can't fall back on this next push as far, and Link will be able to get through on the second swing. The iframes will last long enough for Link to get through there, and you can finish the room off cleanly without getting hit. So that's the push through technique. It's 2 stabs. The first stab is not going to do it. You will not have enough time to get through, and you're going to actually take a hit right here. From the Goriya, you're going to want to push once, and then as he starts walking back, push one more time. Again, about a half tile from the Goriya on each push. On this final example, what I want to show is, again, the Goriya getting in the way, but this time you want to go ahead and build the count. If you want to have a global chance in the next room on a 5 drop, the Wall Masters have a chance to drop 5 rupees on a global counter, or you're trying to set up the bomb count for Aqua Menace, what you can actually do is use this Goriya to help build that count. Again, you do not want to rely on this. We can't rely on the Goriya always being here, so don't set it up and map your bomb count to use this Goriya every time. But if you need an extra count, and this guy's in the way anyway, what you'll see is the technique of this reverse stab for the 3rd hit does not take long at all. So let's watch it through and then we'll break it down one last time. Okay, so we're going to back it up again to this point to where we're halfway through the room. We already got through Sniper Alley again. Getting ready to do the push through. The same technique as what you saw before. We're going to start the stab about half tile in front of him. The second push is going to be the same thing as he's coming back through another half tile. We'll watch those two. It's going to look exactly similar to what we saw before. So there's the first push. Our iframes aren't long enough here for us to get through, so we've got to stab that second time so we can get through. And then as we're getting ready to go through the door, what you'll see is Link is going to finish this enemy off. And you've got to wait a second because he does have the invincibility frames. He's not going to take damage until those wear off. So you're going to see that 3rd stab there right when that second invincibility frames is leaving and Link is going to exit the door. Now that was done in a 6:24, and when we take a look at the final time of just the straight push through without the whip around to get that 3rd hit in, it was done in a 6:15, so only 9 frames difference there. So again, that 3rd hit does not take long. If you need to build counts, that's a very safe one. A very quick one to do, and once you master the push through, that 3rd hit does not take long at all to learn. Now, there is one final situation that could happen with the Goriya. Instead of having the Goriya come through here to where he's on the same row, he could be walking perpendicular to you. And all you have to do is do 1 sword stab through just to get through the door. So I'm not going to play this in real speed, but just to show you advancing this kind of frame by frame. If he's on this row, but he's coming from a perpendicular movement, then all you have to do is just stab through once. The iframes will be enough to get through. It's very easy. So that happens very rarely, but it does happen, so it's good to know about. So that's Sniper Alley here in level 1. Again, the 2 things to worry about is 1, getting sniped from these 2 guys on the left here. It doesn't happen often, but it will happen. It doesn't happen frequently enough to concern yourself with. If you do have the reflexes to stop here, this is the tile you're looking at stopping on. Usually you're past this tile by the time they walk left and throw north. If they're going to hit you, they're going to hit you on this tile right here on this column. So once you got past this 3rd column here, and if they're walking left, you're home free. And the second thing is you might have to do the push through technique. So practice that. If neither of those things apply in this room and you've got a free walk, all you have to do is walk right. That's it. That's the best advice I could give. Good luck.